experience. One of the fastest double-doubles in the history of the NBA. Taking on the Bulls, that's just easy. It's like Nerf with your little brother. Wemby's already up to 8 and 2 boards. We're not even midway through the first. Off the miss, Wembanyama, that counts as a board and a putback. Now it's Wembanyama. No, there'll be none of that. Rosales. Did he grab the rim on this? No. Well, after the block. Now early second, very early second. The rebound, and that's the fastest double-double in his career. And again, one of the fastest in the history of the game. Wembanyama, ball fake, step back, come on. It's just nonsense what this man does. Up by 14, loose ball. Again, alley-oop. Wembanyama and the Spurs leading by 18. The length is, you can't mess with it. Gets the rebound, they're up 19, then Wembanyama. 41-16, 3 blocks, and the Spurs are 57 and 18. The playoffs looming for this group.
You guys have won 25 of your last 27.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been a part of this much success in terms of a stretch, in terms of a run in your life? What does it feel like?
Yeah, when I was playing under 15 in France, we went 22-0 the whole season. We ended up national champions. Other than that, this much success, no. Not winning like this number of games and winning this many games, no, never. It's a combination of things, but it feels like timing is perfect right now. Like my shape is increasing right now.
It's Wemby's 4th game with 40 points and 15 boards, and he's just how old? 22? He's a baby.
He's not 23 yet.
No. He's the only player since the merger to do that. More often than Wemby, that would be Shaq. The Spurs are winners of 9 straight games. Remind you, though, it was last week that Wemby publicly made his case for MVP, and since then, the odds have actually shifted in his direction. SGA remains the favorite, but Wemby has seen his odds go from 22-1 to plus 210 in just 7 days. Now, it's still a big if, but if he were to win, he would join Tim Duncan and David Robinson as the only winners in Spurs history.
Let's bring in NBA analyst Iman Shumpert to the show now. And look, we got a couple more weeks to go in the race, and everyone's asking who the MVP is. As a former player, should we even say who the MVP is right now, or should we actually wait for these last 2 weeks to play out?
I think we're going to have to wait for the last couple of weeks. It goes against everything that I believe to say somebody in Wemby's position that hasn't gotten a chance to go through the playoffs at a competitive level could be ahead or be considered for this award. But when you're watching the games, it's like when you know there's at least 2 weeks left of the season or a week left of the season to go worth of games, and you say he has more chances to do more. This race is getting so close. It's doing nothing but hyping me up and getting me excited to see the Western Conference Finals play out. Okay,
but it is a regular season award,
right,
so you can't hold that against him at this point.
I just, it's hard because the body of work that SGA has done, I don't want to turn away from it. But I'm not lying to you when I say some of the things that I'm watching this young man do are exceptional, and they're making me want to say, how could we not give the award to him? So hats off to both of them, but I still got SGA ahead for now. I know it hurts me to say it right now, but I got him ahead.
All right, well, that's fair. You can do it now. It's just a matter of how much these final games will matter, right? And hey, if the Spurs get the 1 seed, dog, that's a wrap. That's a wrap on MVP. Let's say it.
It is. Yeah. It is. It is.
All right, Shump.
Rookie of the year.
Well, that is a thing that is happening in the pushback of the MVP thing, was that Victor has played fewer minutes than LeBron, who is ineligible for the awards, and Victor is not yet eligible, but trending towards being eligible, and he's played like way less minutes than Cade. Although if Cade doesn't play again, in the regular season. I think Victor is likely to
Which,
pass
by
him.
the way, I think is a very fair criticism.
Yeah. Well, Victor is in this lane where he's played a bunch of games where he played over 20 minutes, which is the threshold.
Barely.
But played like 24, 25.
As McMahon has pointed out,
And
when
some
he initially
20s.
he came back and was playing 20 minutes and 2 seconds, which I'm not criticizing him for, but like, again, like if you're trying to make a decision on who to vote for this award, like Victor's point the other day when he gave the soliloquy about how important defense is, obviously is a very valid point in his favor. And the fact that he has not played nearly as many minutes as some of these other guys, I think is also a valid point against his candidacy.
Absolutely. And look, this is what I say about all awards. I understand that the games in March and April feel more important. But when you are evaluating the award, you should take into account the entire season.
You know what also is an indication of value? The scoreboard when you're on the floor. It's a good indication of value. There's only one person in the league who has a better overall plus minus than Victor Wembanyama. Now, it's his primary competition for the MVP, but Shea is plus 677 in 2,107 minutes. Wemby, in a mere 1,725 minutes, is a plus 630 this year.
It's crazy. There was as I watched today, there was Shea only hit 1-3 in this game, but there was a play, he had gotten to the elbows, as he does in the fourth quarter. And then they ran a pick and roll, and they put Towns in the pick and roll, of course. And Towns sort of went and stood on the elbow, and Shea comes off the pick, stares at Towns standing at the elbow. I was like, oh, okay. And takes a half step back and hits a three. It was in the round in the fourth quarter when they're winning the game. And I'm just like, the quote echoes in my head as I watch it. I have the answers. I have to wait for the questions. So he
knows all the answers to the test.
I mean,
the Spurs play Chicago Monday night. I think we could assume they'll beat the tanking Bulls. And if they do, they'll finish up a 2-month stretch in which they went 25-2. And they'll have gained 1 game in the standings.
Yeah. They've lost a game with Wemby on the floor since the start of February.
Right. Well, the other side of that is, the Thunder have gone 20-2, and they've gained a game.
They've only gained 1 game. They'll go in 25-2, and that's with the Thunder dealing with a lot of injuries. And we'll see where the straw poll is at when it comes out. But I suspect that it'll be a somewhat similar order to the last time. And if Shea does win it, it's going to be because they held off the Spurs. Because if the Spurs had gotten ahead of the Thunder, I like I said at the time, I think Victor would be in pretty decent shape. And he might still win anyway. I mean, he's incredible. But
I'm relieved Victor's playing in that game on Monday because the PGA Tour is in San Antonio this week.
How are we going to do golf and soccer talk?
Texas Open.
Why? Where does Victor come into this?
Well, I had, some friends from the PGA Tour asked me last week, we're going to buy tickets for this game.
Some friends from the PGA Tour, McMahon.
Yes. And they said, hey, are you sure? Do you think it's safe to buy a ticket for this game? They're expensive.
They're PGA people. They're rich.
I know. They're very rich. That's true. That's not the point. The point was they were trying to ask me whether I thought Victor would play in this game, and I assessed the situation and said, yes, I think Victor will play.
Also, Victor's going to play in as many games as he can. He wants damn awards.
He's got to make sure he gets his awards.
I just wanted to make sure that there was no shenanigans, and he's not on the injury report.
Wendy, you wanted to talk Rookie of the Year before this thing got completely derailed.
Yeah, I know. You pushed it off. It was your